Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into a pretty significant development happening in the digital asset space. It involves Christopher Giancarlo. You probably know him as the former chairman of the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission.
Right, the CFTC. And famously known as Crypto Dad.
Exactly, Crypto Dad. Well, he's just joined Sygnum, the Swiss digital asset bank, as a senior policy advisor.
Yeah, that's a really fascinating move. You've got this regulator known for being quite forward-thinking on crypto,
Right.
joining forces with a very established digital asset bank. It definitely signals some interesting shifts in the industry, I think.
Absolutely. And Sygnum, just for context for you listening, they're a pioneering digital asset bank based out of Switzerland.
Which is often seen as a hub for this stuff.
For sure. And they actually just hit unicorn status recently after a pretty big funding round. So it underscores their focus, their commitment to providing, comprehensive crypto asset services.
So our goal here in this deep dive is really to unpack what this appointment means. What does Giancarlo joining Sygnum tell us about, say, the future of crypto regulation?
And institutional involvement too, right?
Exactly. And that growing institutional piece, we'll be using insights from a recent news article covering this to try and understand the implications for you.
Okay, sounds good. So let's start with Giancarlo himself. He led the CFTC, that's the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, 2017 to 2019.
Right.
But that nickname, Crypto Dad, it really gives you a sense of how people saw him, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, the Crypto Dad thing wasn't just like a casual label. It really reflected his generally supportive stance, or at least open stance, towards digital assets when he was running the CFTC.
He seemed willing to engage constructively.
Exactly. Seen as someone who kind of got the potential of the tech and was willing to work with the industry, within the rules that existed then.
And it's worth remembering, back in 2023, he said something interesting. He suggests that for any really significant pro-industry legislation to happen in D.C.
It would probably need a big political shift first.
Right. And while, some might look at recent political events and think maybe that's the shift, Giancarlo himself has been pretty quick to shut down any talk of him immediately jumping back into a top regulatory job, like SEC chair or Treasury.
Okay, that's key. So denying those rumors about the SEC or Treasury roles.
Yeah. It makes it feel like this move to Sygnum is a deliberate choice, engaging directly with the industry at a strategic level, advising a specific company.
Rather than going back into public office right now.
Precisely. Offering his expertise there.
So let's pivot to Sygnum then. As we said, Swiss banking group, very focused on crypto, and that unicorn status really speaks volumes about their growth and, investor confidence.
Definitely.
Now, Giancarlo isn't taking the CEO spot or anything. He's joining their advisory council, which I think has about 11 other members.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
His specific title is Senior Policy Advisor, and Sygnum's outlined his role as providing guidance on regulations.
And also helping build strategic partnerships, across both public and private sectors. It really highlights how much Sygnum values his deep understanding of the regulatory maze in his network.
And the timing is interesting, too, because Sygnum CEO Matthias Imbach, he actually warned recently that Switzerland, despite being an early leader in crypto, could kind of lose its edge if it doesn't keep innovating.
Okay. So that puts this move in context.
It really does frame Giancarlo's appointment, doesn't it? It feels like a proactive step to navigate this, dynamic global scene.
Exactly. Sygnum's clearly trying to bolster its strategic position, navigate that complex web of international rules. And someone like Giancarlo, with his background, can offer just invaluable insights there, especially now as we're seeing more traditional finance players getting interested in digital assets globally.
Which is the perfect segue, actually, to that broader trend, institutional adoption. The article we looked at points to a few key factors driving this increased interest. We're seeing maybe more accommodating crypto policies start to emerge in places.
Right, and the big one, the success of those Bitcoin ETFs in the U.S.
Undeniable, yeah. The capital inflows have been huge, showing real demand.
Huge. It's a really significant marker, I think. Those inflows show a growing comfort level, institutions wanting exposure through, familiar investment wrappers.
It suggests a shift in how they view this asset class.
Potentially, yeah. An evolution in allocation. Plus, you've got advances in things like tokenization and stablecoins picking up steam.
And on the regulation side, there was that Genius Act for stablecoins passing the Senate.
Right, that's another piece. Andrei Grachev from DWF Labs was quoted saying that if enacted, could really accelerate institutional adoption.
So it all seems to be pointing towards maybe a more defined, potentially more supportive regulatory environment, or at least clearer rules of the road.
Well, that legislative movement combined with market performance, Bitcoin hitting all-time highs, which Fidelity Digital Assets noted makes institutions see it as more mature. That creates a powerful mix. Good price action, clear rules. That tends to attract the bigger players.
And it's not just the U.S., is it? We're seeing this crypto growth in places where Sygnum is active too, like Singapore and the UAE.
Absolutely. It feels very much like a global trend gaining momentum.
Okay, so how does Giancarlo's appointment directly tie into all these trends?
Well, that global aspect makes his appointment even more interesting, doesn't it? His experience isn't just U.S.-centric.
True.
As a former head of a major U.S. regulator, but one that deals with global markets, he brings that broader perspective. That's incredibly valuable for a Swiss bank with international aims.
So it feels like Sygnum is really positioning itself strategically, using his expertise to navigate this evolving landscape as institutional interest heats up.
I think so.
Yeah.
Having someone with his regulatory know-how is a significant advantage when things are complex and, frankly, still being figured out globally.
It's interesting, too, that Giancarlo himself has talked about believing we're near a turning point in institutional adoption.
Exactly. And now he's advising a firm that's actively trying to facilitate that adoption, but within, proper regulatory frameworks.
So there's a sort of reinforcing cycle there,
right.
Potentially.
Potentially. His understanding of where regulation might go, the strategic partnerships Sygnum should pursue, that becomes incredibly valuable insight for them.
It almost feels like a kind of validation for the industry's direction, A respected former regulator, crypto dad himself, now directly involved in helping a digital asset bank navigate and grow.
It certainly highlights that growing connection, that convergence between traditional finance and digital assets. The lines are definitely blurring.
Yeah.
And people who understand both worlds, who can bridge that gap, their expertise is becoming super valuable.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. The key takeaway seems to be that Giancarlo moving to Sygnum really underscores this convergence we're talking about.
Yeah, between TradFi and digital assets.
And it's being driven by that surge in institutional interest, plus this clear need for, regulatory clarity, but on a global scale.
Absolutely. And Giancarlo's deep knowledge of those regulatory complexities, combined with Sygnum's own ambitions in the digital asset banking space, it seems like a potent combination as the whole industry keeps evolving.
It really does. So that leaves us, and you listening, with a final thought to maybe chew on. Given all this momentum we see with institutions getting involved and regulations developing worldwide, what future innovations or perhaps regulatory shifts do you think will be absolutely crucial for digital assets to become, widely and responsibly integrated into the mainstream financial system?
That's the big question, isn't it? What needs to happen next for truly seamless integration?
Definitely something to think about as this space keeps unfolding. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.